Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Christone, Kingfish, Ingram, and this is the Blues Podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Blues Podcast. My name is Big Boy Bloater. Now, as always, I've got a fantastic treat for you guys out there. And this is a great one. I tell you, this guy is absolutely ripping up the blues scene at the moment. Really, really is making a big, loud noise. And it's a fantastic noise. I want to say a big hello and welcome to Chris Kingfish Ingram. Hey, man, how you doing?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm good. Let's get one thing out of the way first. Do you prefer Chris or Kingfish or Christophe? Christone, which do you prefer?
Oh man, anyone is cool. You can even do King or Fish.
King or Fish. I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. A man who's chilled out about his name. Like, yeah.
Yes, sir.
I like that very much indeed. How you been doing in the whole pandemic thing, man? I mean, it's just a crazy world at the moment, right?
Man, yeah, man. Stuff is kind of strange right now. That's all I can. That's pretty much the best way I can put it.
Yeah.
I just been trying to utilize the time. I spent most of the time writing with others, and I'm fresh out actually just recording my second album with Tom Hambridge. I spent a lot of time writing again with him and Richard Fleming. So yeah, I kind of utilize this time to my best ability.
Yeah, I guess you haven't been doing many gigs right at the moment.
Man, not at all, man. Not anything in person. We just did a live stream show, but it was crowdless. But other than that, I've been doing a lot of like live stream shows from home and stuff like that for festivals.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
How's that for you? Because it's kind of weird, right? Playing to an audience but not getting any reaction, because they're there.
Yeah, it's cool, but at the same time, you need those people to feed off that energy, and after a while you get used to it, but at a certain point you like, man, I need some interaction,
Yeah. I know exactly how you feel, man. It's a weird world we're living in at the moment, right? It really is.
For sure.
So I always like to kick these podcasts off by sort of going back to the early days, and for a lot of the guys I speak to, for some of it, it's quite hard for them to remember because it's so long ago. But you're just a young guy, 21 years old, right? Living in Clarksdale, Mississippi, which is must be pretty much the epicenter of the blues.
Oh, for sure.
Was it just a given thing that you were going to listen to blues music?
Well, I kind of feel that way myself. I lived right next to a blues man. Well, let me back up. My dad first took me to the Delta Blues Museum after he showed me a PBS documentary on Muddy Waters. Then I enrolled in the class there later on in life. But then after that, I lived right next to a blues band. Some of the local legends at the time, I would go and sit in their sessions, and so I was pretty much like exposed to it 24/7.
Yeah,
for sure. And
you started off on the drums, right? I'm hearing this quite a lot these days.
Yeah, that was like a church thing.
Right.
My mom, she used to sing in quartet gospel, and on her side of the family, all of my uncles, all of my cousins play, sing in church. Pretty much the whole 9 yards. Yeah. And that's where that came from. And then, but when I got into the blues, I kind of started on bass, and then went to guitar. And every now and then I would get back on drums or something like that, at a jam or something like that. Right, for sure. Yeah. So yeah.
So what was the idea about kind of starting on bass? Was that a thought out thing, or was it just like, hey, we need a bass player, or bass guitar available, or why was that?
Okay, so here's what happened. When I started in the Blues Museum, I first started on guitar, and I, chubby dude, fingers, I couldn't get it. So yeah, so I came back to class one day, and I remember I told Mr. Richard, aka Daddy Rich, one of my mentors there. I was like, man, let me try the thing with the 4 strings on it. I didn't know what it was, So I got on. I was like, yeah, I'm liking this, and I felt comfortable. And like, man, next couple of months I was doing like solid 145 bass lines, doing like some simple pentatonic runs, So and next thing you know, I started gigging around town, and I became like the backup bass player for like all the bands in town. They bass player couldn't show, they would call me, and I was like 11 in juke joints and stuff playing bass.
11.
And yeah, that in church, and that's
Yeah.
what I was doing. Yeah.
So the
Yeah,
gigs in
man.
the evening and the church the next day, right? Oh.
Yeah, man. Yep. Saturday
And
night, Friday night, all
yeah,
that.
Sunday morning back in church, right? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, you already know it. Yeah, it was mandatory for my mom.
yeah, yeah. So, I mean, started off on drums and then to the bass. That must have given you a pretty good. That must be kind of pretty good training for now when you're playing guitar. You kind of know how to talk to those guys and how to explain what you want, and how know how they work and how they feel. That must be pretty a
Right.
good thing to have in your arsenal, right?
Right, because with the drums and the bass, that's the solid foundation, and as a bass player, you have to work well with the drummer. And I even applied that, with guitar, even with rhythm guitar playing, you have to be percussive and on point with the, bass drum and the bass player. So for sure, it's a, it always leads back to the drum and bass for me, for the foundation for sure.
Yeah, the foundation, the backbone of any band, right? Yeah, it's yeah.
Right, for sure.
Absolutely, it's great that you got a good insight into it. So you went to the bass for a while, and then what got you back to guitar? What made you think, yeah, hang on a minute, no, it's the guitar that I really want to play. What is it about it that started calling you back to it?
Well, I'll be truthful. That was an incident that happened one night.
Oh yeah,
With a with with a local artist, and I was playing bass for him. And after that incident, I told my mom, I'm like, I wanna do my own thing. Let me see what I can do. Because at that time, I just felt like I played with everybody in town, and I felt like I you know, got my feet wet as far as like playing with different people in the city. And I wanted to see, man, let me see if I can take a swing at doing this. And if I can't, I can go back, being a side dude and, doing my proper training. So it's cool being a bass player, in front of your own band. It's better playing guitar, I think. So I got a guitar. I remember my dad and my stepmom bought me a guitar for Christmas when I was in 6th grade, and I started playing. And that was like when I was like 13 or 14, and here we are. Here we are.
So what was the incident? Can we elaborate on that, or is that like a no go area, man?
Dealing with pay, and I was too young to pretty much say something at the time. My mom said something to the people, who was in authority, and some stuff went down, and it just wasn't pretty, and so that was that. All kind of felt well afterwards, but at the time it wasn't bad,
Yeah.
so everything's all good. So for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think I got the picture of that. Yeah. So
Yeah,
you get back on guitar. What guitar were you playing first off early in those days? We do like talking about guitars here on the Blues Podcast. So let's talk guitars for a
So
minute.
all the guitars that I was getting in the beginning when I couldn't play them, my dad, I remember the first thing he got me was a harmony. But at that time, my first real guitar, I call it was an Epiphone 335 dot. I was into like the hollow bars at the time because I was studying guys like BB King, Freddie King, Otis Rush, so even Johnny Guitar Watson, that hollow body sounded something cool in the blues, So that, and I went to a Strat, and went to an Epiphone 339. Just an assortment of stuff, dude. I was into anything that looked good and sounded good at the time. I had an Ibanez Les Paul copy type thing. It was dope, man, for sure.
Well, that's interesting. You say anything that looked good and sounded good. I mean, what? Come on, what guitars out there? I know there's a few, but what guitars out there don't look good? I mean, they're all kind of pretty sexy, right?
Man, you're right, man. It's funny you say. I was just in the studio like a couple of nights ago, and now uh, the run on the studio engineer, Abu Mitchell, he was like, "Hey man, I got this Gibson 345 here, man." And he pulled it out, man. It was dope, and I got some great Lynn Milton vibes off of it, man. It's really dope, and it was red, and it definitely had like a sexy, sleek look to it. And I think you'll love it since you like the sexiness of guitars and stuff like that.
Yeah, sounds right. My street, man, really does. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk a little bit about Muddy Waters because he was one of the guys that really kind of inspired you to get into the blues, right?
Right,
I mean,
right,
what was
right.
I mean, was it? You were like about 5 years old when you first heard of Muddy Waters?
Yeah, 5, 6 years old, like somewhere in that little realm.
Man, what is it about Muddy Waters that kind of this guy from way back in the 40s, 50s, 60s? What is it that speaks to a kid who's 5 or 6 years old?
Well. I'll be honest. Even though the blues is originally vocal music, and you should be more focused on the voice and the guitar playing. It was the guitar playing that caught me, and just the piercing sound of his slide is just something that caught my attention.
Yeah,
And when I heard his singing, he just had like one of the smoothest voices, and if not the smoothest voice in the blues ever. So just all of that, and he was a hometown boy, even though he was born in Rolling Fork. Even he spent a lot of time here, in my area. So just to find out that about him, just made me gravitate to him for sure.
I mean, I love Muddy Waters. Like you say, the slide guitar, the playing, the voice, everything is just absolutely perfect.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I remember my favorite song by him was 40 Days and 40 Nights. That was like one of the first. That one and Can't Be Satisfied. That was like the first two cuts I heard by him. And I pretty much like Honeybee and a whole lot more, man. Dope for sure.
A lot of those early Chicago recordings as well. Little Walt was playing harmonica, and you got just the greatest band on there. It's just Jimmy Rogers as well on guitar. It's
Yo, Jimmy Rogers. Yeah, man. Yeah.
just what a lineup. Just you can't imagine seeing a band like that. I would love to have seen that band in their prime. Really would.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, man. They were like headhunters as they
Yeah,
as they put
yeah,
it in that time. Yeah, for sure.
yeah. Formidable. Yeah, yeah. Something else I wanted to ask about, and where's the name come from? Kingfish. Let's talk about that a little bit. 'Cause, yeah, I want to know about that.
One of my mentors back at the Delta Blues Museum, Bill Howland Man Perry. He's a hill country blues musician out of Abbeville, Mississippi, and he used to give like all the kids like nicknames and stuff like in the classroom. We used to think of them as stage names, and when it got down to me, it was Kingfish, and I think it was like some type of reference to original sitcom, one of the first black sitcoms, Amos and Andy. And at first, I didn't like it, but it kind of stuck. And people at school and around town, people would call it instead of my real name. So I kind of just kept the name because King reminds me of the three kings of the blues. Albert, Freddie, and BB, and the fish just reminds me of Muddy Water. So I just kept it, for that aspect.
Well, this is a pretty cool name, man. I mean, you should try being called Big Boy Bloater. It's like,
Yeah, hey, man, hey, man. Your name sounds a little cooler. It's all good.
yeah, I'm kind of stuck with it. It's been a long time, so I'm used to it. But yeah, I want to ask you a little bit, if it's okay, about your mum, because you
Sure.
lost your mum last year, right?
Yes, sir. December.
Yeah, and you did the song rock and roll, right? It's especially for her. I heard that you adapted the lyrics from somebody else's song a little bit to just to fit it, to make it fit your mum. I mean, I listened to the song; it's fantastic, great song, really a great tribute
Thank
as
you.
well. And just wanted to know how it came about. Really, what made you decide to use that particular song?
Well, shortly after my mom's passing, we did a show in Nashville, Tennessee, and my manager introduced me to this singer by the name of Ashley Ray, and I met her, and they was like, man, she has this song, rock and roll, and I want you to hear it, and he let me hear it, and it was and it was beautiful, and he was like, man, I think you should do something with this, and let's try to change some things around and give it like like an ode to your mom. And I was for it, so we did it. Flip some things around, and well, first put it like this: we got her permission, and we flipped some things around, and I was really pleased with the come out because that was my biggest champion for sure, and I was I was really proud of the song for sure.
Yeah, that's a great song. Yeah, you should definitely should be proud. Talking about your mum still a bit as well. I understand her cousin's Charlie Pride, right? I mean, an absolutely massive country singer. Did
Yeah.
country get into your music at all anywhere along the way?
Well, to be honest, I feel like working with Tom Hambridge on the first record, when we did the Listen song, it had some country vibes to it, and Tom is just a great writer. He has he's blues and rock, but I feel like he has like this little country element in his writing too. So I feel like that was like my first introduction to country, and even though and even this rock and roll song, uh, the song is called rock and roll, but it's definitely got some country vibes in it as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
for sure, I'm creeping in slowly into that field.
This is something I wanted to also talk to you about. And growing up in Clarksdale, Mississippi, where you did, and being surrounded by blues, were your friends? I mean, was everybody into the blues music, or were a lot of your friends kind of into the more modern stuff and all that kind of thing? Did you get any stick for that in the schoolyard or?
All my classmates, they would, some of them would come up to me and they'd be like, "Man, how you like that, old, depressing sad stuff?" And I would tell them, it's old, and I won't call it depressing, man. It's kind of like history, I'm doing this for the culture, this is our history, if it wasn't for this, you wouldn't have all the things you listen to today, as the late great Willie Dixon put it, the blues is the root and everything else is the fruit. So, man, it's just it's great to listen where all that stuff came from. Like, man, rap, all of that was going on in the '60s, man, in different ways. You just got to go back and study and listen to it for sure.
Absolutely, yeah. So, I mean, were you picking up on anything that your friends were playing in the kind of modern stuff, or you were no, I just want to do the blues, man.
Oh no, oh no, oh no, not at all. I would never be like that about it. I actually listen to rap and modern day R&B and stuff like that. I'm a big fan of like '90s classic hip hop, southern hip hop, West Coast G funk type stuff,
Yeah, yeah.
and some of the stuff going on today. I really don't listen to that much, but I do like some artists, her, a lot of whole other rappers too for sure.
Yeah. Because I was like I say, I was listening to rock and roll earlier, and it's from a lot of your early stuff, which is pretty, straightforward. I mean, a lot of it, some of it to me sounded BB King. I thought, wow, this is fantastic, great stuff. But then,
Thank you,
rock
thank
and
you.
roll, you moved it on a little bit with that. There's some more different modern influences coming through in that. And I could definitely hear that. Planning to expand even further out into kind of modern genres and mix it up a bit more?
Oh yeah, for sure. Here's the thing. At the end of the day, the gist is I don't know for anyone else, but for me, the gist is to get more people to see that kids, specifically young black kids, to get people to see that people, that we're still in, in this music. And I feel like one of the ways that we can, bring them in, just, mix some of that modern stuff in there and attract them that way. And then once we get them in, just sit them down and teach them about the real raw things. I feel like that's one of the ways we can get them. And that's what I try to do.
I think that's happened all throughout the years. I mean, there's been blues players since blues was born, and it's moved on, it's changed, hasn't it? It's progressed, it's kind of gone through all these metamorphoses kind of things. But whenever a new player comes out and people sit up and listen, hey, I like that. They always end up going, well, what did that guy listen to? And they end up going back to the roots kind of thing. And
Exactly,
that's
exactly, exactly.
the great thing about music.
Exactly. It's like samples in rap songs, man. People actually go back and want to hear that type of stuff, man. It's if we just mix some of that and some of that, in our blues and attract them, I think we can get a whole new generation on this stuff, man. Instead of always saying that they're not into it.
So you'd be pretty happy if someone sampled one of your records for something for another.
I most definitely, most definitely. Yeah, man, I would definitely like that for
You
sure.
have a favorite artist that you would say, yeah, I'd love such and such to like sample one of my guitar licks or a bit of my vocal or something for.
DJ Quick, Uh, I played on a Bun B song. That was pretty cool. And anybody else, man? Anybody else for sure? Snoop? Yeah, anybody?
Just getting the word out there, right? Spread the word. You know, it's
For sure, for
yeah.
sure, for sure, man, for sure, man. If it permits, for sure, man, I would love to, man, for sure.
I want to ask you about your TV work. You've had a little bit of stuff on TV, right? And I was
Hmm.
seeing that Luke Cage, which is like a Marvel TV series thing. I'm not seen it. I'm not down with the kids. I don't know what these programs are about.
I got you. I got you.
But what really caught my eye was you sung a couple of songs on there. You were kind of like a cameo sort of guest appearance thing. You were singing on there, and you sung a Screaming Joe Hawkins song. I Put a Spell on You. How did that
Hmm.
come around? Were you already doing that song, or was it something they suggested?
Okay, so it's funny how we got there. What happened was we was riding down the road one day, and my mom was telling me there's the show called Luke Cage that you might like, and because they had all the music performances and stuff like on there. So I went and watched it, and I'm like, man, this is dope. And I just made a joke. I was just like, man, maybe if we get called for the second season, we can do something like. I guarantee you, man, like maybe like 2 nights later, I got this message. I'm so and so producer for Luke Cage. Let's do it. So because I didn't have any original music at the time, they were the ones. I think they kind of spearheaded with my manager and what songs to do. So Thriller's Gone was the first choice, and I Put a Spell on You. I Put a Spell on You. I was a little bit apprehensive because that was a song that I had never did live before, and
Really? One of my favorite
yeah,
songs ever, all time, man. Yeah.
yeah, man, and I love Screaming Jay Hawkins, but I was never, the one to be like, I'm not gonna put a spell on somebody, something like that, So when we did it, the song came out great, man, and it's just been like a crowd cover favorite, every now and then in the show, someone hollered it out, and everyone likes it for sure.
Yeah, that's a great version. I mean, I like I say, I love the song. I loved it ever since I heard Screaming Jay Hawkins do. So many people
Yeah,
covered it, and I thought, yeah, it's but yeah, great version, man. I
right,
really
right.
liked it. Yeah,
Thank you,
really
thank you.
liked it indeed. Like you're 21 years old now, right? I mean, you've been in the business pretty much all your life, really, haven't you? Uh,
I want to say I started. Well, I got my first paying gig like at 11. So and the things I was doing was like tied into the blues world. So I guess I got a little bit, but I'm still out here paying dues though.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, man. Still getting my feet wet.
What do you think about all these blues guys are like in their 60s and 70s and they're still playing? Do you see yourself doing that?
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm gonna be doing this to the day I die, man. I hope if God's willing, I get to those guys' age, I hope so. I can still be around, in adult diapers and all that, playing, playing the blues and playing my guitar, whatever, for sure.
I see also as well. You played at the White House. I mean, how that must have been a real honor.
You know what? Sometimes I forget I did that.
Is it
That
like a
was
dream? It's just like, was that
yeah,
real or was it a
man.
dream, man? It's
Yeah, that was I want to say late 2014. I was with the Delta Blues Museum. It was me and four other boys. We had gotten an award along with, I want to say, like 12 different other young youth type of programs around the country, and it was a great experience, man. Got to play for the First Lady Michelle Obama, and it was quite an experience, man. Got to hang in the White House. It was dope.
I mean, it's amazing. Like I say, 21 years old. And I've got a couple of fan questions here, actually. I want to just, while we're kind of on this subject. Um,
Cool.
James Vaughan has emailed in and said, you were nominated for a Grammy in 2020. Congratulations. Well done, man. Could you ever
Thank you.
imagine a recognition like this coming so early in your career? I mean, when you started, did you think, in 10 years' time, I'll be getting nominated for the Grammys and all that? It's
Oh man, no, not at all, man, not at all. Here's the thing. I always tell people, I was like, I knew one day it would probably come, just having that hope and faith. But I didn't. Now, if you would have told me back when I was like 15 to 12 to 15 that I was gonna be nominated for like a Grammy like at age 20 to 21. I would probably just laugh that shit and just walked away. So I'm definitely grateful to all the fans and the team and God first and everybody, for what they've done, to get me to this, point for sure. So,
Yeah.
but to answer the original question, not at all, not at all,
And
not at all.
The album that the Grammy was nominated for, that was your first album, right? I mean, that's how many people can say my first album Grammy nominated?
Davey record, man. I go back to what I just said, man. I can't believe it, man. It's just out here trying to pray for dudes, man, and just keep trying to achieve higher, man. I can't believe it myself sometimes.
Here's another question for you. This one comes from Jules Spanch. Jules says, where do you think the blues will go in the next 10 years? Can you see it being taken back towards the mainstream in a similar way the White Stripes took it kind of 20 years ago?
Well, for one, I don't think the blues itself went anywhere. I mean, one thing about the root is always going to be there. When everything is back to a stump, that root is always going to be there. And not only if you look at blues, not the genre, the way things are happening in the world, blues is always going to be there. So we always going to need that to cry on. So for sure, it always be there. Now, as far as like blues guitar going back into the mainstream, maybe so. We would just have to see. But as far as like blues itself, blues is life, so that's always going to be there for sure.
I think it is always there, but it's kind of like a wave, isn't it? It just kind of flows in and out, through its time.
It's like some people have that theory, they think like every now and then be like this, big blues mainstream wave, like that. But I feel like there are so many people out here that's out here doing that thing. John Tavis Willis, Marquise Knox, Sean McDonald, man, even one of the guys I look up to, Gary Clark Jr., Eric Gales, man, a whole lot of people out here that's out here bringing like a different flavor, but old traditional vibes and bringing that wave back for sure.
Yeah.
Or just bringing it here because, like I said, it never went anywhere.
Who else, who's way up there in the blues fields these days? Are you listening to and thinking, yeah, man, I'm digging that.
Man, Eric Gales, for sure. A lot of my friends in the business, like Anika Chambers and Southern Avenue. Like I said, John Tavis Willis, Eric Castelia, like a whole different lot of artists. I listen to a lot of music. It's a whole lot of different artists I want to work with, like like her and some soul guys and everything, man. A whole lot of things I want to do.
Yeah. Here's another fan question. This one's from Alice Lydon, and Alice says, "Where is your favourite place that you have ever played in your career?" Don't say at home.
Man, I'm trying to think. LA. It's just something about LA, man. Every time we go to LA, man, the vibes are just cool. It's something about LA. Something about LA is just, it's cool. And overseas, I always thought Switzerland was dope. When we went to Switzerland, we had a fun time over there. The people was nice, the food was good, everything was cool.
Yeah.
So those two places for sure.
Oh, do you ever see yourself moving like to LA one day, or maybe? I mean, this such a great music scene going on there.
Yeah, I actually had planned to this year, but when the big thing happened, it kind of you kind of stop you in your tracks, So yeah, I actually want to. I actually want to one day. I see myself moving out there, either there, maybe Chicago or Nashville.
Yeah, you could do kind of a couple of years in each, and then go around.
Man, that's too much work, man. Yeah.
I've got one more fan question. We always get this fan question, and it's a weird one, I know, but let's go with it. Roland Tumble wants to know What do you prefer, guitar shopping or clothes shopping?
Guitar shopping. Damn. I do kind of. Sometimes I can get heavy on both a little bit. I would say guitar shopping, even though like I'm a sneakerhead, like I love sneakers to the fullest, but like guitar shopping, like anything, like I'm into like rare PV stuff.
Really? Yeah.
Like I was checking, yeah, man. Like those old PVT 60s, I love those. It's actually an old PV guitar. I'm out trying to find now like a PV Horizon. Yeah, I'm always out guitar shopping for sure.
Are you a bit of a guitar hoarder?
New Fender stuff.
Are you
Yeah.
are you someone who's going to have a whole room full of guitars in the next few years because you just can't let go?
Oh yeah, I think I have like maybe a little bit under 30 now at the moment.
And is that about right or?
He says about right. Yep, about right, maybe a little bit.
Oh man, what's your favorite guitar at the moment? Which is the go-to one?
Man, I got back into Strats heavily, man. So Strats, pretty are really dope, man. At first I was playing that I was playing my custom LP and my custom Tilly Paul from a guy named Michael Chertoff. He's located on the East Coast, and I was really big into like Gary Moore and all the humbucker guys. So the LP kind of fit my tone, but then I kind of switched it up like in the last year or so, and I got a Strat, and it gave me like a little bit of diversity in tone. So yeah, I'm and I'm still kind of experimenting with some stuff, humbucker, single coil type stuff, for sure.
Yeah, so you're up for mixing it up, kind of when it comes to
Mm-hmm.
what would be your
But sometimes I will say this though, man. I love picking up a good hollow body and just playing some, Lynn Milton BB type licks and stuff like that. One day I love
completely different vibe for you. Do you find yourself playing in a slightly different style with like a hollow body compared to a solid body?
oh yeah, for sure, man. Because it gives you like it just you pick up a hollow body and it's like it's immediately like a blues guitar. It feels like that. It feels like something that you should be using. For the blues. So yeah, man, it's definitely comfortable in my hand.
When was the last time you got on the drums?
Man, I almost cursed, man. My bad. When was the last time I got on the drums? It's been like years.
You don't miss it.
It's a whole lot of work. I think so. I think to me, even though the guy's sitting down, I think he's doing a whole lot more work, than me and the bass player for sure. Moving his hands and feet and stuff like that.
I think just setting the things up, carrying all the cases in from the van, and this.
I be feeling sorry for my drummer sometimes, man. He come in with the stuff. He had the gloves. He has a big setup, so he be the first one to get there, last one to leave.
Yeah, well, my drummer's the same, man. He's got this huge setup, and I say to him, look, if you want to bring all those drums, that's cool, man. But he's real good about it. But he loves to have all these drums and kind of things going on, and it's like, well, it's your responsibility. I'm just going to pack my guitar away and go to the bar. Okay, I'll see you later.
Yeah. I give it to you.
Listen, I've got this really big question that I always ask to everybody who comes on the Blues podcast, and I'm going to run it by you now. It's a kind of a strange question, but let me explain it and go with it. Just try and go with it. So,
okay.
I want you to imagine, if you can, that we're in the future, a little way in the future. Like you're old. Okay, I don't you don't know what that feels like yet, but trust me, man, it's shit. But yeah. Anyway, you're getting to be an old man. And the world is a much happier place in the future because this is the future that I've made up. But unfortunately, there's a big meteorite coming towards the Earth, and it's gonna hit the Earth in the next week or so. So the president of the world, there's a president now who runs the whole world, keeps everything calm and nice, and everybody's loving each other. It's kind of great. President gets on the phone and he says to you, Kingfish, man, you heard about this big rock that's going to come and hit us. We need to throw the biggest party that the Earth has ever seen to go out on. We got to get this big party going. We want you to come down here. We want you to play a song, a special song, pick a special band. What is the song going to be, and who's going to be in the band?
Damn.
Tough one, right?
Right, man, cause I'm trying to see like what theme I want to go with. Like, do I want to go like with the apocalypse? Signs of the times or something like that. Man, honestly, I would just jam. I would just jam on something. I would just jam on something until the media hits. Yeah, I would just jam. We would just, bro. We'll lock up a funk thing up in E, and we'll just continue. Everybody trade solo until the media hit.
Just gonna take everyone's mind off it and just say, no, just turn up. Listen to the music, and we're just, yeah.
You know what? It's best if it happens unexpectedly.
Yeah.
We won't know what hit us. Just do it like that, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Everybody gets drunk, high, and we good. We good.
And who's going to be in the band with you?
Oh, man. I probably have like Boosie on bass, Boosie Collins. I want Eric Gales to be up there.
We're in the future, so you're going to have holograms of anybody.
Got you.
So it could be, it could be anyone.
Oh, holograms. Oh man, Prince. I'll get James Brown band up there, the whole band, the JB, nice. Everybody up there. Hendrix, because I want to see him and Prince go at it. Eric Gales, just everybody, just have like a funk rock type thing up there, man, for sure. Yeah, man, not Emily, but a living color, code of personality, all up there for sure.
Sounds like a good party, man. Yeah, I hope.
Man.
I hope I can make it.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Listen, finally, I just want to finish up by, absolutely love what you're doing at the moment. It's great stuff. It's great to see, the blues coming up again, rising through the youth and all that sort of thing. Where do you see yourself maybe in 10 or 20 years?
I see myself, hopefully I'll have like some, artists, that I'll be out, helping out, doing something. But I'll still be making music myself, still finding different ways to, lead young people on to the blues and hopefully, doing what I love.
Just keep on doing what you're doing, right? Yeah.
Yeah, man, just keep on trucking.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Any advice for blues players just before we go? Anything you can think of? Hey, wish I'd known this when I was starting out.
Man, something I definitely wish I'd known when I was starting out. I put it like back in 2016. I had this phase where I just went through fast shredding like it wasn't shit. So I wish somebody would have. Well, they did teach me this at the Blues Museum, but I put it like I wish I would have understood more about feel. At that time, and I think that's something that people should get into. And I wish I would have knew more about being diverse at the time. So be diverse and feel the stuff that you're playing for sure, and kick ass.
Absolutely, yeah. I just thought of one more question. I think we can just about squeeze this. Just got time. Quite often when I'm talking to guys here on the Blues Podcast, it's a lot of the guys are at the other end of their career, shall we say, from you, kind of thing. Like they're kind of looking back. And a question that they often get asked is, "What would you say to your younger self?" I want to flip that around now and really mess with your head and say, what would the 21-year-old Kingfish say to the 60-year-old Kingfish?
60?
Yeah, why not?
Did you say 60 or 16?
60, yeah.
60. Hey, I hope all of this is worth it. And you made it to 60, so look like you prevailed, so yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think I'll be saying I'm glad to see you're still here. You made it. It's a good thing.
Right. We here. We at the cusp, yeah.
Kingfish, it's been absolutely fantastic talking to you, man. I wish you all the success going forward, and I'm going to be watching you and listening to you for many, many years to come, I hope. So Yeah.
Oh man, I got one more answer.
Hit me with it.
Let's go back to the question when you asked who would I have at the jam session. I had one more person. I don't know if you're familiar with who Nate Dogg is, but I would definitely have a hologram of him up there with us jamming up there too. So for sure,
Cool.
yeah,
Well, we'll put in a word for that, and yeah, by the time that meteorite hits, we'll get that sorted.
For sure. Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Man, it's been great fun talking to you. Thanks a lot. So if you've enjoyed this, why not like and subscribe to the Blues Podcast right now? All right.